How many of you see yourself getting married someday? I think it's safe to assume that we've all thought about it, including myself. But at that same moment, the idea of marriage pops in my head. The number 50 leaks in my brain. That's the percent of first marriages in the United States that end in divorce, according to Web Health News. And I can't wrap my mind around why nobody thinks that's a big deal. Saving marriages is a multi-million-dollar industry. Saving marriages, or counseling for marriage, is about $80 per session, and divorce costs range from family to family. But let me put it like this: a cheap divorce is around $8,000. If you open up your mind to me for the next 2.5 minutes, I have the potential to save you a lot of money and make you a lot happier when it's all said and done. Say no to the label of marriage. Let's go back to the old days when marriage was more or less like a business transaction. Spartacus' education claims around the 19th century, a marriage was necessary for bonds and alliances. If you were in the lower class, it was arranged so you could successfully run a farm or a labor union. Nowadays, marriage has a reputation of being able to satisfy and nurture us emotionally, psychologically, and maybe that's where we're going wrong. We have this image built up in our head that we get married and it's perfect, but then when that image doesn't come true, we get frustrated and ultimately divorced. Peter Schwirm, a writer for Global Magazine, states people have been waiting longer and longer to get married. However, my parents were 28 and 32 when they got married. And it lasted 13 years, but it still ended up in divorce. And I wonder if they still would be together if they would have gotten rid of the labels husband and wife. A lot of couples never even get married. An example is Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham, and they've been together forever. Psychology Today states, in general, unmarried people are less depressed than married people. And people are getting married for the wrong reasons. That big, fancy wedding reception being one of them. Being the center of attention in a pearly white dress with pretty flowers and cake is what every girl craves. But I'm afraid they don't see the big picture, that when the wedding buzz runs out, that's when things get tough. If a party is really that important to you, have a commitment party. It's just as cool. Is it like this for every couple? Absolutely not. But the reality of the situation is, it's happened too often. You can still have that person who brings sense and meaning to your world, but you don't need a ring to make it mean anything more. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with a few facts. Divorce.com states that 75% of divorced people get remarried, and 65% of the time, second marriages fail. Since 1970, marriage occurrences have decreased by 30%, but at the same time since 1970, the failure rate has increased by 40%. I just think that's kind of like a red flag. If you're in a marriage just for the tax breaks, you're gonna end up bitter. Respect and caring for your partner is in good partnership, not the marriage. Today, I'm asking you to ask yourself, why have you ever considered marriage? Is it because everybody else is doing it? Be brave, be different, and show the world that we don't need marriage.